Happy Halloween, everyone! First of all, thank you so much for coming to my very first live art show. This is such a production and labor of love for me, but I'm just thrilled to be able to share this artwork with you kind of in person, as close as we can get, in a global way. So thank you so much for all of your support and love through the years, or if you're new here, thank you for your interest in the work. So how this works is I've created a live gallery page where you can see all the work that I'll be presenting, and you can buy it on that page. The link is in the description of this video. And if you're also on Instagram, you can find it in my bio on Instagram. But these are all one-of-a-kind pieces, all ready to hang. I've already made the decisions for you about framing, about size and everything. So like, if you buy it, you get it, it'll just be ready to put on your wall. And these are honestly some of my favorite pieces. And so, you know, I'm just starting this business, but I've been a photographer for most of my life. So I'm finally getting to like do the whole full cycle and print these pieces and share them with you. And I'm stoked. So a little about me, if you don't know a whole lot about my history, I was raised by photographers, very blessed to grow up in a photography life, and I have really strong memories of the cameras that my parents gave me through the years. The first one was like this little pink flat thing, it took like really tiny film, but the big breakthrough was my fully automatic film camera. It was like this size, little Nikon, and I took it on a trip in 6th grade, and I remember coming back and I had to make a book out of my trip photos. You know, it was part of the, like getting the grade for the class. And there was one photo in there, and it was like this epic statue silhouetted against this big cloudy background. And everybody, it just, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing at that point, but it just turned out so spectacularly. And I remember my mom pointing it out and being like, this photo is amazing. You did a great job. And that just stuck in my mind clear as day. And I think of that as like the initial moment when I really started to get into photography. From that point on, I don't think I was ever really without a camera. I was always taking pictures. And my dad and I built a darkroom in the garage, and he taught me how to develop film and to print photos. And then we moved into the digital world, and luckily I've gotten a lot of hand-me-down gear from my parents. That's been super helpful. Like, for instance, I have these lights on right now, and those were a gift from my dad. We use them to light up structures when we do nighttime photography. And actually, one of the pieces I'll show today, I use these lights to light up that piece, so you can see how that works. But yeah, it was such a blessing. And like, we still photograph together today. Like, I'll be going home to Florida soon, and one of our biggest goals is that we're going to do some swamp photography together. Florida is an epic place to photograph. And so is California, where I live now. So this piece is #1 on the shopping page. Again, that link is in the description of this video. But this is a picture I took in Death Valley. One moment, before I touch the art. I could have white gloves, but why don't I use black satin opera gloves? Because it's Halloween. Honestly, it doesn't have to be Halloween. I would wear these anyway because they're so dope. But here we go. Because this art is this special. All right, so piece #1 that I'm selling in the art show today is Nightlight. I believe this is called Nightlight, yes. This is a 20 by 30 metal print, which means it's extremely durable. Like, you can, especially for like high impact places or like restaurants, even any place you might pick up a lot of fingerprints or touch it a lot, you can just wipe this down with water. Like, it's going to be hard to hurt this, and it's going to be archival quality. Like, it's going to outlast you in your lifetime. So you can trust that if you buy a piece like this, like, it's always going to look beautiful. And you can have it out even in the weather. You could hang it outside, and ideally not in direct sun. I think the direct sun will impact it, but if it got rained on, it would be okay. So I just want to show you a little more about the metal, since you're not actually here and can't touch it, but here's the back of it. So you can see it's like a flat piece of aluminum, And then there's this, it's called a float mount hanger on the back of it. And this means it just hangs away from the wall a little bit. And any piece you buy, and especially this piece, comes ready to hang. You can just hang it right here in these holes. So very thin on the side. I'm also going to show some metal prints that have flush mount frames, but this is like the kind of entry framing, just the float mount hanger. So let me tell you a little bit about making this photo. This was in January of this year, and I had always wanted to go to Death Valley. I'd heard about it, and I kind of had this idea that it was a place that you were likely to die. I mean, literally, it's named Death Valley. It's kind of an obvious impression. So I imagine in my head that like I needed to have like I don't know, some extreme off-road vehicle, a whole lot of water, extra gas, tires, food, everything in case I got stuck out in the desert. So I went in January when it was going to be a little colder, and we did fine. Like we survived fine. It was really nice during the day, super sunny, got really cold at night. And it was pretty chilly this night out here in the dunes. But this was magical. So Death Valley is a dark skies location. And if you don't know what I mean by that, you know, you can walk outside in your neighborhood and you're going to see lights on at night. And the more those lights, the artificial lights are on, the less stars you'll be able to see in the sky. Imagine you're in the middle of the desert and there aren't any artificial lights and the stars are just millions of them, just a multitude. And when I looked up at the sky, it honestly looked like they were falling down toward me. Like you could just see such a depth of stars. It was like a rain of stars. So you can start to see that up here in the sky here. And this was probably, I'm pretty sure this was a little bit after sunset. So there was still some color in the sky. And you can see that reflected here in the dunes below. They've kind of got this purple color to them. And then I really love this streak across the middle. These are actually cars driving by. But as I've gone through my work, I've started to realize this is very much a theme for me. I'm very much drawn to photographing nature, like portraits of nature. But there's always this element of humankind just kind of subtly in there. And I make it just part of the art. And I think that what I'm expressing is just how huge nature is, so much bigger than us, and yet this way that we are also a part of her constantly, and in the way that we, so tiny, still thread our way through this beautiful landscape. So again, this one's called Nightlight. It's Death Valley, California, printed on metal, super durable, beautiful piece, and it's on sale on my landing page for the art show. And the sale price is $260. And let me tell you, if I didn't mention this before, like I'm only selling one of each of these at this price. I've definitely deeply discounted everything just because I really want to share it with you. So if you want this piece, you know, hit buy now. I'm just going to sell the one and you'll get it ready to frame. All right. Also, hit me with any questions. Like, we're doing this Facebook Live. You can comment at any point. You've got questions, I'll answer them live. So happy to hear from you guys. All right, I'm going to do the next piece now. All right, so this one is already sold, but I'll still share it with you. This is a picture I took this year, just a few weeks ago, bringing it up a little closer for you. This one's called Surreal, and it's a beautiful Yosemite Valley view at night. Again, the night theme. It's framed in a black scoop wood frame, and it's printed on metallic paper. What I love about metallic paper, especially for like starscapes or waterscapes, which are pretty much my jam, is that it brings out this little bit of subtle luminescence and sparkle to it. And you can really see that in this print, especially here in El Capitan and up here in the stars. Like it's got that magic glow, which is exactly what I see when I'm looking at these scenes anyway. Yeah, so let me show you the back. All the frames are archival. All the prints are archival quality. And the frames come sealed in the back, and that keeps dust out, and it keeps it, again, from like, this print will outlast you. So you can rest assured that your investment is durable. So yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed that the rocks here in the foreground are red. I'll bring it up pretty close. So there's a whole story about this. I just went on a road trip with my mom like a month ago, and we did like all back roads of California for 3 weeks. It was wonderful. I mentioned we go photographing together all the time. So I call it the all back roads trip because we refused to take highways. We were just like, we're just gonna explore California wherever the roads take us. And we definitely had to hit up Yosemite. And it was pretty smoky because this was the summertime, and you know we were having so many fires in California. But we visited this view a couple of times, and the last time it actually, the skies brightened up, the skies cleared up, and we were able to see the stars. And to get down to this part, I'll bring it up close to you again, to get down here to this view, like I was right on the water. I was carrying my tripod, I was carrying all my lenses, I was carrying a heavy camera, and it was dark. And I had this trepidation that I was going to fall and break everything. I was just taking my time, and I was definitely a little grumpy about it. But it was worth it. In the end, I got down there and just started experimenting. I had my headlamp on, and I was using the red light because that helps you maintain your night vision, and you're able to see what you're looking at more and see the stars. And I noticed that I really love the way that the red lamp was lighting up the foreground. So I decided that I was just going to shoot it that way. And I took like 10 shots here, and there was just the one with the red lamp, and that ended up being my favorite. This is a classic view in Yosemite, but I don't know anyone that's done it quite like this, and having this like surreal element of humanity in the shot again. Like you can see my presence here just through the light, and a bit of a car driving by here. So yeah, that's Surreal. It's already been sold, but you can buy other prints of this on my site. But this one at the special art show price has already been sold to Betsy. Thank you, Betsy. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for this to be in your home. Okay, so I hear we've got one question from the audience. One comment.
Beautiful shot. I love the frame.
Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's a great frame. Thanks for pointing that out. So let me show you guys that a little bit more closely too, the scoop frame. Hopefully you can see kind of the scoop action here. It's just a very high quality gallery frame. And here on the side, I think it's about, I don't know, close to an inch thick. And again, sealed on the back, ready to hang. There you go. That's number 2, Surreal. All right, so number 3, I believe is, one moment, please. The Color of Night. Okay. All right, so this is number 3. This is another night shot. I'm big into night this month for October. It's kind of like on theme. This is the Bay Bridge that it connects Oakland, East Bay, to San Francisco and Treasure Island in between. So if you're not, a Bay Area person, or you haven't spent a lot of time here, this is the bridge you would cross if you were driving from the east and entering into San Francisco. Okay, and these lights, right? These lights have a story. Jose Villanueva, I believe it's the artist's name, and a couple years back he did an art installation on this bridge, and these are like thousands of little LED lights, and they're programmed to undulate and create all these kind of like amorphous forms. It's really beautiful to watch, just mesmerizing to watch. And I did a long exposure of it, so you see like it just went like straight white, but all these colors dripping down into the water. I'll show you a little closer. Look at the colors that come out at night in a long exposure. I'm so in love with that. This is typical of nighttime. So like, and why I'm so into nighttime photos. Like our eyes can pick up only so much light, but if you use a camera and you're taking a long exposure of like 30 seconds or more, you're going to start to pull in so much more color. Like the nighttime is extremely colorful. And this is like deep night at this point, but you still see like kind of a subtle like indigo glow in the background. And back here you've got all of the Port of Oakland and then the bridge colors. I think there's some ships, cargo ships driving by. Like this is definitely a moment in time in Oakland. And I, I really love living here because there's so much happening. Like it's a major port. And then also over here, it's very tiny, so you can't tell from there, from your vantage point. But it's the transport cranes that put all of the cargo into the ships, and they are the inspiration in Star Wars for the AT-AT. Is that right? AT-AT? So those big, tall, long-legged imperial walkers that, getting super nerdy now. But you've probably seen them. Like, how can you not be aware of Star Wars at this point? But if not, I'm happy to send you more information about it. So yeah, this is the Bay Bridge at night of this place that I call home. All right. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you about sizing. 8 by 12, and this is a black boxwood frame. Let me go over those details real quick. 8 by 12 print, black boxwood. So you'll notice it doesn't have the scoop. It's just like a lot simpler. Same kind of thickness, also sealed on the back. Ready to hang on your wall. Archival quality. It will outlast you. All right. One moment. Okay. The next piece is close to my heart. It's the one that I mentioned at the beginning of the show that I lit up with these lights. Another nighttime shot. Hold on, get my opera gloves back on. This is the old Mormon Barn in the Grand Tetons. Again, this is a metal print, 8 by 12 metal print, extremely durable. You can see the aluminum here and a float mount hanger on the back. Incredibly lightweight, extremely durable art. This is actually my favorite way to print art on metal because, it's not going to break. You don't have any glass involved. Extremely easy to clean up, extremely archival. And it's just, I think the most important part to me is the way that the colors really pop. Like I was saying, at nighttime, there's just all these wonderful luminescent colors. And I feel like the metal print is where they really shine. Metal print and on metallic paper. So the old barn, this is Grand Teton National Park. And this is a famous barn for photographers. But what I love about this print is I was there with my family, and I was there with my dad. Sorry, he passed away. And these memories are very important to me. He taught me just about everything I know about photography. And this night we were out there, and he showed me how to light objects with LED lights, like super easy, lightweight gear to bring with you on travel. And so we set up these LEDs and lit up this barn and then did long exposures so we would get the stars in the background. Whew. I miss him. What I really love about this is the way these clouds are lit up in the background, and they just really highlight this barn. And this is the town of Kelly, Wyoming in the background that's just kind of lighting it up in the sky. So yeah, I love this print, clearly. But it's already sold to my mom because I think she feels the same way. So Mom, thank you. And I can't wait to put this on your wall. Woo. Thank you guys. Emotional moment. Okay. Right. This piece is called Low Tide. This is on canvas. This is, I believe, a 20 by 30 print. Yeah. Again, ready to hang on your wall. I don't want to touch the gloves. One moment. Okay. You know, first of all, I think it's absolutely okay to cry anytime you feel like crying. So if you feel like crying today, just go for it. Let it out. Feel the feels. It's an important part of being a human. So I'm really glad to have had such a wonderful person in my life that my stepfather was. And these are really tears of gratitude for that. Because all of this art, all of it, all of this like love that I put into this is because of my family who put a camera in my hands and taught me how to use it. So thanks, guys. And with that, here's a 20 by 30 canvas piece. This is a view of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I'll give you a little close up. I love this shot. I mean, I love all these shots, but I love this one in particular because on the north side of San Francisco, there are a series of beaches, and Baker Beach is the one where you can really see the Golden Gate Bridge. But around the corner from Baker Beach is a tiny beach called China Beach. And at really low tide, you can walk between the two beaches, and you're walking amongst all these rocks, and it's just like this kind of just primal place, and with the ocean, the Pacific Ocean coming at you, and the whole time you're kind of like, okay, don't sweep me out to sea, don't sweep me out to sea. And I haven't always been successful. Like my timing's been bad, or the tide has been too high. So I've been out here a number of times, but this is the one time I was able to get a shot like this. And I'm standing between two rocks, and the waves have just come in and receded, and I've got that glassy reflection. And it's just this epic framing of the Golden Gate Bridge. So this is really, in my experience, a one-of-a-kind shot. It's printed on canvas, just like the rest, ready to hang. You'll see how it's sealed on the back. Got a little bit of dust on it, but fairly thick. Beautiful and lightweight, archival quality. Again, this one is called Low Tide, and it's number 5 on the list, and I'm selling it for $250 in this art show. All of these prices are lower than you'll find regularly on my site, and just as an art show special, I'm only selling one of each. So if you're interested in Low Tide, this is number 5 on the landing page. Okay, cloud break. Look at this. This is the only black and white that I'm sharing in this art show. Again, let me bring it up to you a little closer so you can see it. This is in New Mexico, near Abiquiu. Abiquiu, New Mexico is where Georgia O'Keeffe, the painter, spent many years of her life. And so I was super thrilled to get to explore this area of the country. So let me back up a little. This hike is within walking distance of Georgia O'Keeffe's house. And so while I was on this trip, I even got to hang out on Georgia's roof and drink wine with friends and just look out over the landscape. It was an incredible experience to be connected through history with another artist that way, and to see the landscape that inspired her so much. And I'm similarly inspired by New Mexico, because like the desert is just epic with like its warm browns, it's like extreme conditions, and then like these giant clouds, and you can see for miles and see the sky for miles. And this day was like that. So right as we were starting our hike toward this promontory, these clouds broke open, and it was as if they were opening right over this tower, and I grabbed this shot. And then we hiked up all the way out to here. Couldn't quite get to this point. But afterward, I showed my friends the shot I had taken, and one of them, Susan, thank you, had invited me to submit it for a contest, a local contest. So I did, and it won. So this is my award-winning photo of New Mexico, and I call it Cloud Break because of the clouds breaking overhead. The original print that I submitted for the contest was black and white, which is why I have this piece. This is the only one I have of it. Otherwise, I'm selling it in color in my shop. So if you want this black and white version, just let me know. And it is a 16 by 24 print on canvas for $210. Number 6 for the show. So you can see here the canvas wrap on the side. And it's canvas wrapped over a durable wood frame. So again, just extremely durable piece and very lightweight as well. So yeah, Cloud Break. Okay, I'm gonna rehang that one later. All right, I'm gonna do Illuminate next. If you've been watching my work this year, you'll know that this is a new image. Here it is up close. So this is the same trip that I took with my mom like a month ago, the Backroads California trip. And this is Yosemite Valley. We were up at Glacier Point, which is a like famous viewpoint for Half Dome in Yosemite. But it was really smoky that day. I've got like some really hazy photos of Half Dome. Like they look good, but it was just like I wasn't all that impressed with it. And so I started exploring, looking at other areas around me, and I looked down into the valley, and I could see that the light was breaking through the haze and lighting up these rocks right here, and again back in this ridge on the back. And I just fell in love with it. Like, this is perfect portrait light. And I love the layers that are happening. Like right here, it's almost like you're here, and then further on this other ridge and the trees. And then back here, so because I read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy as a kid, so my imagination kind of goes crazy, but back here it's really illuminated on the back wall. And I always imagined that it's like some creature just off scene coming towards you and just like illuminating the wall. And any minute now you're going to see it turn the corner. So I love this piece for being an untraditional view of Yosemite again, and the layers and the beautiful light and this sense of magic happening on the horizon. So yeah, this one's called Illuminate. It's also on aluminum, printed on metal, 8 by 12. You can see the back with the float hanger, ready to hang, and extremely durable. So that's $100, like super affordable, and will last your lifetime. Illuminate. Again, I just want to take a break and say, if you have any questions or any comments, anything you want to say, like, feel free to drop it in this post and we'll see them and I can answer live. All right. Okay, this next one is called You Are the Sky. Give you close up. This is actually another scoop wood frame, but this one's pewter. And you'll notice the difference is that it's got this kind of sheen to it. And I'll try and get really close. This kind of texture to it. The frame? Showing the frame? Yeah. There's kind of this texture to it as well. I think it looks beautiful. It's kind of this warm, little, slightly warmer, well, again, textured print. And I think it really offsets this image because of the warm tones going on here with the rainbow coming down. This is another image that I took this year. So I quit my full-time job in the spring, and the very first thing I did after getting vaccinated was to go to Hawaii. And I went with my friend Jackie, hi Jackie, to Kauai and visited Waimea Canyon and just got this shot right at sunset. It was epic. And so in Waimea Canyon, you're looking down into like these old volcanic, undulations in the landscape. And then right at sunset when we got there, it was raining as it's wont to do in Hawaii, but the sun struck like just at the right angle just before it went below the horizon and got this beautiful rainbow coming into the canyon, which I really love. When I first posted this photo on social media, an old classmate of mine told me a great story about how she actually got lost in the canyon. She was there on a school trip and hiking through the canyon, and they couldn't find their way out, and they ended up just like sleeping in the canyon overnight, and then hiking out in the morning, and they found finally came upon someone and could get a hold of the rest of their party. But so when I see this image, I think about that. I think about the night I was there and seeing the Milky Way out after sunset, and imagining if I had been stuck there all night. Like, I don't know how it was for her, but it was, I think it'd be a pretty beautiful place to be stuck if you feel safe and comfortable and warm. So yeah, I call this one You Are the Sky. The reason I call it that is Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun in America, has this wonderful quote that I have just applied in my life, which is, you are the sky, the rest is only weather. And that's that idea that things are coming up for you all the time, like my dad earlier. And I felt that weather for a moment, and then it moved on, and I'm still here. I remain. So you are the sky, the rest is only the weather, and may you have rainbows today. So yeah, 8x12 print in a pewter scoop wood frame. I'll show you the scoop wood again. Kind of see. Beautiful gallery style frame, sealed on the back and ready to hang on your wall. So this one is $145, and again, I'm only going to sell one of these at the art show price. So let me know if you have trouble finding the art show landing page, but that's where you can go to purchase anything that you love. Okay, balance. All right, the next one I have here is called Balance. This is a calla lily, can't say that too quickly, and a white boxwood frame. So I love the simplicity of this white frame. It's just very minimal and really lets the print stand out. And it works really well with this print because of the white of the lily. I feel like the calla lily, probably you've seen one because they're everywhere. And they are such survivors, and they grow to be enormous. Like, their flowers are like as big as your two hands together. So my parents, again, were also big naturalists. My mom in particular is very into flowers, and I found growing up that I often know the names of flowers, and just by happenstance. I'll be like, oh, that's a nasturtium, or oh, that's, Yeah, no, I can't come up with one. That's a single petaled historic rose, things like that. And since then, I've gotten very into gardening as well. I love to pay attention to plants and flowers, and calla lilies in particular are so sculptural. So I've come up with a variety of different names for this. At one point, I called it like alabastrine, because alabaster is this very soft white stone that you can carve out of, and this looks like a sculpture to me. But in the end, I named it Balance because I feel like that's what's happening here. It's just this strong white against this strong black background, just the simplicity of the calla lily. And this is actually a photo that I took many years ago, but has been a consistent favorite. I've always had a print of this on my wall for at least the last decade. And I really love this photograph. So again, comes in a white boxwood frame, sealed on the back, ready to hang on your wall, 8x12 print, and called Balance. This is number 9 on the list for $120. And I'm only going to sell one at $120. So if you like it, let me know. Okay, I won't mess with it right now. Oh yeah, okay. All right, folks, we're near the end. I have 6 more items to go through, and 2 of them are merch items. So this one is called I Left My Heart, after the famous song I Left My Heart in San Francisco. And the reason I named it this is because I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry. It's okay if I cry. But a dear friend of mine passed away about 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and it was sudden and heartbreaking, right? And to memorialize him, I went out to the coast in order to photograph the sunset that day. And I didn't quite make it, but I made it as far as the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, and I stopped there and photographed this sunset there. And so past this bank of clouds, you would see the city skyline of San Francisco. But of course, the traditional, the typical fog is there, occluding it. And so there's kind of this sense of you're in nature, but you're also in the city. You're both just in this pure natural state, as well as grounded in this urban state as well. And I love that kind of mix. You'll see the moon rising up here in the clouds, and there's just like this pink tinge of the sunset happening. This is such a beautiful view of the bridge in San Francisco, and beyond that, just has such a special place in my heart. Like I just really love this piece, and I really love all the colors that come out of it, and the sense of serenity and kind of the sense of the eternal, like crossing the bridge into the afterlife. Yeah, and of course, San Francisco, now I've lived in the Bay Area for about 10 years, and so it's very much a home to me. And so that's another reason why the name I Left My Heart seemed like the right title for this photo, because this is my home. And a lot of the people that I love, a lot of my friends and family are here. And also in the Southeast and a lot of places in the world, and I appreciate all of them. But right now, this is where I spend most of my time, and I think it's probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. So yeah, and the Golden Gate Bridge is iconic. And if you don't know this, in the Bay Area, I'm sure you know this, but we have a name for the fog. We call it Carl with a K. Carl the Fog has a hilarious personality. Carl was born on Twitter You can look for the handle Carl the Fog, and he reports on the activities of San Francisco from his point of view, and it's a beautiful reflection on this town. All right, so that is I Left My Heart. It is 20 by 30 for $250 on canvas. Okay, the next is Lake Tahoe. Oh, do we have a question? Love that, Carl. Yeah, right? Yeah, Elizabeth's been here. Can't wait till you come back. You know, you always got a place to stay. All right, and we're staying in California now. This is Lake Tahoe, so this is about a 3-hour drive east of San Francisco, and there's this beautiful blue lake up in the mountains. And earlier this year, I went on a 3-week trip that we called the Cattiwample. I love that word. Cattiwample means to, see if I can get this right, journey with intention toward a vague destination. And that was really what the Cattiwample is, because we were just like, let's just pack up the car. I drive a Prius. I love that car. We packed a mattress into the back of it, turned it into our little RV camper, and just set off on the road. And we had no idea where we were going. We just went east. Actually, we went south, and then we went east. And along the way, I ended up kind of like realizing my destination was Valley of the Gods in Utah. And that's because that is my dad's favorite place. And I wanted to go remember him there. And on the way back, we came back through, as we started to hit California again, we stayed in Lake Tahoe. And this is one of the last shots that I got on that trip. And I think that it's just really fitting because it's such a serene moment. This is sunset over the lake. There's no clouds in the sky because this is during the fire season. This is right before the big fires threaten the lake. You can see some of the smoke on the horizon. But for us at that moment, it just kind of spoke of, you know, nowhere that we had to be except for right here, just sitting on these rocks, watching the sunset. So this is a very peaceful scene. When I first posted it to social media, one of my friends wrote to me and said that she had been going through a really hard time and that seeing this image was the first time that she felt peace. And I think of that whenever I look at this photograph now, because it's just essentially peace in a nutshell. It's an 8x12 print. This is a pewter metal frame. So I have silver metal, black metal, and pewter is great for a little bit of a warmer metal look. So I chose it because of the warm tones in this photograph. So I think you can kind of see. But again, here's what it looks like on the side and on the back, ready to hang and sealed in the back. So yeah, that is Sunset on Lake Tahoe. This is, let's look, number 11 on the list, and it sells for $195 in this frame. Yeah. So let me know if you love this print. I'll just be selling one at this price. And this is, I imagine this will bring you peace wherever you hang it. Like in your bathroom for when you take a bath, or in your office for when you're working, or, I mean, anywhere you put it, anywhere you want to bring a little more peace to your life. Okay. 2 more art pieces. This one is Reveal, my favorite subject, the Golden Gate Bridge again. There's a great story about this. So you might remember, it was this year when we had the super blood flower supermoon, some combination of those words. And I stayed up all night. I didn't mean to stay up all night, and I'd kind of been up all night the night before for some reason, I remember. But we were like, let's go shoot the moon. And we headed to Treasure Island and started photographing the moon turning blood red over the San Francisco skyline. And it was really cold. It was really cold and windy. And after the moon set, I was still just like, I mean, at least a dozen times I was like, why don't we go home? Why don't we go home? Like, I'm so tired. I'm so cold. But there was something in me, like, I'd look at the clock and be like, well, if I just hang out like a few hours more, or 2 hours more, or just 1 hour more, I'll see the sunrise. And I'm so glad I stayed, because this is the photograph I got. Like, you can see in the distance the Golden Gate Bridge and like birds flying by and the foundation rock that it's attached to. Bit of coral happening in the background, and then it's just like sherbet sky after that, like just beautiful colors. Like, I'm very, very attracted to this rainbow scene and the simplicity of the bridge. This print is 8x12 in a silver metal frame, so a little bit cooler tone and pretty thick, about an inch I'd say, ready to hang on the back and sealed in the back. So again, archival quality paper. And this one is number 12 on the list for $165. Yeah. So if you are a big lover of color like I am, this might be the print for you. Okay, last three. This last piece is Evening at the Baths. This is, I'll bring it up to you first. You can see it's another nighttime-ish photo. This is right before, really, like the stars are just starting to come out. You'll see a few stars up here in the sky. And oh, let me show you this little detail too. This is seal rock. You can see perhaps the little birds hanging out on there. I love nighttime and I love the ocean, and I love old abandoned places. So this is perfect. So again, this is in San Francisco. This is on the north side of the city. There's a place called Suture. Oh, lost a light. There's a place called Suture, and it was built in the 1800s and was meant to be like this destination. There were like, I think there was several baths and like restaurants, and bands would play, and it was supposed to be like an affordable bathing place for the citizens of San Francisco. But it wasn't really that successful commercially, and so it kind of like fell into disrepair through the years, and then it was sold to developers in, I think, 1964. And the developers started tearing everything down, and then a fire destroyed the rest of it in 1966. And so this is the view you would see if you were hanging out at the ruins of Suture Baths out on the north coast of San Francisco. And literally it's just like some foundations and like water that's come up from the sea and is hanging out in the baths. You wouldn't actually want to bathe in it, but it's more of a place that you would just like get some epic photos. And if you stood looking out to sea, I think I might actually be standing on the beach. I might have like crawled down the rocks and standing on the beach for this. But you'll see seal rock out there, and that's a big bird hangout. And the other cool thing about this is that the famous Cliff House is up on the shoreline right up here, and it has like these big blazing lights shining out into the water, and that's actually what's illuminating the rock. So again, I'm getting this long exposure with gorgeous colors, and then this element of humankind in nature again, subtly, just from the illumination coming from the lights on the shore. So I really love this shot. I love them all. I know I say that, but all of these pieces are super special to me, not only for just beautiful colors and just being out in nature, but all the story that goes on behind it. This one's also printed on metal. This has a flush mount frame. So instead of the float hanger, you actually just have a frame to the wall, and you'll see it's ready to hang on the back. So this is number 13, Evening at the Baths, Suture Baths, and for $300 because it's a big print. And again, this is cheaper than you'll find on my site usually. So let me know if you're interested in it. You can buy right on the page and I'll ship it to you. All right, 2 more pieces and we're done. I'm going to rehang all these later. Okay, so I started to foray into merchandise because, you know, maybe you're not looking for art for your wall, but you want art in other places in your life. So I've got a mat over here. If you're like me and you love yoga because of the way it just like stretches out your body and you get the meditative benefits, if you're not into yoga, like, I highly recommend you try it. It's just it can be a gentle or strong, hardcore workout. You know, basically it's just you and the mat. Like, there's no winning a prize, there's no competing, there's just you showing up with your mat and spending some time with yourself, meditating, stretching, getting stronger. And I promise you, if you did that for just even a few days, you would feel a huge difference. And so, of course, it made sense to me to do art on a yoga mat. And I've just made this one just to see like how it would turn out. And so I wanted to sell this one in the art show. Definitely one of a kind. This is the image Illuminate that I showed earlier. And think about it, like you just unroll this and you're instantly practicing in nature. In fact, I can do any of my images as a yoga mat. I'm just starting to figure that out. They're going to be kind of like one of a kind prints every time. You know, just talk to me about it and I'll make them for you. But this one is Illuminate. The size is a 24 by 72 inch yoga mat. We've practiced on it and tested it out. Like, it's got great grip and it's got great cushion. It's actually really good quality, and I feel like the image is really great quality. So give yourself a little bit of nature on the mat with some fine art yoga. Oh yeah? Yay! Awesome! Thank you. I don't know either. We can find out. Okay. You probably didn't hear my partner say, I just made a sale. So thank you, whoever just purchased something. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I can't wait for you to have this art in your life. All right.
Jason says that yoga mat is amazing. What a wonderful idea and a great photo for it.
Oh, thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it, right? It worked out so perfectly. And I feel the same way. I love to practice like that, bring a little nature to this practice of both self-love and meditation. Okay, so last item. So I know a lot of people who were really into puzzles, and I've been known to put puzzles together on occasion. And I've had a lot of requests for puzzles. So I made one. Check this out. My first ever jigsaw puzzle. This is 1,000 pieces, and I printed this picture, Inner Light, on the puzzle. This is a shot that I took again in Hawaii this year, and hopefully you can see just the sun coming through the leaves and looking epic. Like, again, like, I think we just parked the car and I saw this light, and I was just like, I don't even think the car had stopped yet, and I jumped out and like ran up to this tree and started taking its picture. You can just see that this was an incredibly magical moment. I call it Light, and this comes in a really box with a nice print. And let me show you what the pieces look like. What time of day? Good question. It must have been late in the day because the sun was kind of low on the horizon, so I'm guessing it was probably like an hour before sunset when the light really gets good. Thanks for asking, Elizabeth. Okay, so here are the puzzle pieces. I've had my puzzle lovers test them out, and they think they are great quality. Nice thick, like cardboard paper. I'm not actually sure, but like this is akin to puzzles I've seen, high quality puzzles I've seen in my life. The print quality looks really good. The puzzle piece density is really good. I think this would be an excellent gift for Christmas for the people on your list. So this one, I've just made this one so far. They're actually kind of pricey to make, so I'm sorry that they're not super cheap, but I'm selling it for $70. And this is number 15, the last item on the page, the Inner Light puzzle. But a quick note about holiday shopping. You may have noticed that shipping is taking forever these days, and it's just going to get worse. Supply chain issues because of COVID, et cetera, et cetera. So I really think if you want to have like a low stress Christmas this year or Hanukkah, or however you like to celebrate, that like this is the time to really go ahead and get your gifts in order, I think, in November. So I hope you'll think of me. I offer puzzles, yoga mats, phone cases, and greeting cards. And little bonus item. These aren't on my landing page, but if you are interested in these, just let me know. I did some samples for mugs, and I don't think I'm going to carry these in my shop, but I am willing to sell the 2 samples if you're interested. This again is the Golden Gate Bridge. I'll show you close up. At night, again, another experience where I was climbing down into dicey rocks with a bunch of gear. Totally worked out fine. Don't worry, Mom. And got this shot, and I love this shot. And I got like the extra large mug. If you really want to drink a lot of coffee, I got you. And then this one I call Center, again, showing my like flower love, but I think this is a poppy. Pretty sure it's a poppy, a like brilliant pinkish one. And so yeah, another extra large mug for your brew. Let me know if you're interested in that, because it's not on the page. Just like message me directly through Facebook, Instagram, or my website, which is laurenelaine-coleman.com. And I have a few other items. I've got some tote bags that were just samples. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to put them on the site, but I'm willing to sell them to you here. But this is a large tote bag. I'll take the other one out. So you can shop in style. But this is the Golden Gate Bridge at night, the same print that's on that coffee mug. And, and this way you can just carry art with you wherever you go as your bag. And I have a smaller size as well. Here you go. Demo it. You like my bag? And this is the Inner Light piece from Kauai on here. So yeah, I haven't priced these out, but if you're interested in it, just reach out to me and I'll let you know. I also tried out a little zip bag. I thought this was really cute. I mean, little zipper top. I use these things for everything. So this is another great gift idea. These I probably will start putting in the shop because I really like this. But if you want the sample that I got, I'll sell you this sample. It's probably the only one that I'm going to make like this that has these tapered bottoms. Yeah. All right. So any last questions? Any last comments? Drop it in and happy to answer live.
Elizabeth says, love, definitely interested in the Inner Light bag.
Yay!
We'll message you.
Yay! Thanks, Elizabeth. I can't wait to hear from you about the Inner Light bag. Totally your style, right? And yeah, happy to work with you on that. Super stoked. I find them so useful. I'm definitely using one right now for my other goods. Yeah, guys, so thank you so much for coming to this first live art show. Like, like I wasn't sure how this would go. Put a lot of work into like getting the gear set up and the prints and everything, and just the fact that you showed up here to be with me means the world to me. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful Halloween. Bye.